So let's take a look at the scripting system in XPipe. It's a pretty simple system, but it can also be very powerful if you know what you're doing. Now, to start off, you can find the scripts, well, under the All Scripts tab here. Here you can find predefined scripts, which will come included in your XPipe installation. They are just a few for demo purposes, so you can see what you can do with it. They're there to enable Starship and C-Link, which is basically just a nice prompt and adds fancy functionality to your shell sessions. It's nothing more. But what you're probably interested in is creating your own scripts. Now, you can do that either going here into the custom category or into all scripts, or create your own categories. That's up to you. Now, creating scripts is very simple. You just create a new script and we will make it very simple here. Now, you can select dependencies. We don't need that yet. Here you have to define in what kind of shells your script is supposed to be run on. Now, we are selecting bash for now. And of course, the most important part, the script contents. Now, if you're just like, let's do for demo purposes something simple. Here this is just a simple text field, but if you are looking for like a better syntax highlighting or a proper editor, just use this edit button. It will open the shell script in your selected text editor. It makes it much easier. You don't need a shebang here. That is added automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. The execution type, well, it's only really for advanced usages. The terminal only pre-selection is very good. It's usually, you don't need anything else. Then you want to assign it to a certain group. So we have our My Scripts group. That's the only one, but you can create your own groups if you want. And give it a name. Let's call this our hello script. And let's add it. So we have added this script. Let's see what we can do with it. So if you go here, you can find two options that you can enable, either on a per script basis or on a per group basis. Now we just do the per script basis here. We want to run it on initialization. So it's essentially run after the normal profile files are run. Then this will be executed automatically. It's like an additional init script. So let's do that. And whether we want to bring it to all compatible shells. Now what this does is it copies the script to the target system and adds them into the path variable, so you can call them anywhere with the name of hello.sh in this case. Now let's also tick that. So this is now enabled by default, and if we go back to our normal connections and, for example, connect to this Windows subsystem instance here, this script will be run as an init script, so it will tell us hello, yes, and it will also be available if we just, no, it's called hello.sh. Yes, there it is, right, it's in the path. That is what you can do with this very simple script. You can have it run automatically or call it manually. Of course, there's much more that you want to do, and especially when it comes to server management, there are better use cases for that. Now, let's take a look at that here. So if we edit our hello script here and basically do something else. So for example, we can also set normal variables as you would do otherwise. So let's say we call that my var, and let's assign it to, well, etc. Just so, let's just say this variable is a normal path, right? It represents a file path to someone that you want to access frequently and want to have access in all your shells. So let's do that. And now we have access to it in our terminal session. But if we also, for example, want to have access to this variable in our file browser sessions, then we should use both here, because then we will have access, then the script will be run in every case, also in the file browser in the background, and you will have access to the environment that is changed by the script. So let's edit that. So if we then go into the file browser here and open any connection where the script will be active, i.e., in this case, any bash shell, login shell, for example, my Windows subsystem here, and we go into the directory and open the terminal here, you will see that yes, we will indeed have our hello output here. And what we can now do is, since this also runs in the file browser, we can set up an environment, for example. What we can try to do here is, for example, set an environment variable, such as, we don't give it a creative name. Let's just call it like this. And let's assign this to a certain path, file path, right? And we choose that the execution type to be in both, so it will also be run in the file browser itself, not only in the terminal. And then we finish here. Then we restart the connection because that is needed for that. And what is now possible is that the environment is sourced from your script. So since we exported a variable, we can just, for example, go here. And yes, they will automatically resolve to the variables you set, and you can access them in here. Right? And this also, of course, applies to your terminal sessions. So if we do, for example, this one here, you will see that you will also have access to your environment variables in here. And what you can see is, I hope that you can find or think of a lot of cool things that you can do now. The thing is, you will have access to everything that you set and do literally everywhere without additional setup, right? So if we connect to another system, for example, this remote EC2 server here, it is since it is also a bash login shell, your script will also be run in here, right? So we can just do the same thing. We can run it here, and you will see we'll also have access to our variables, and our hello output is still there. And that's a scripting system. Now you can do much more complicated stuff. You can run certain commands on init, right? You can set certain environment variables on init. You can do whatever you want, right? There are no limits what you can do here. You can write very long shell scripts. You can call other shell scripts. You can make other scripts a dependency of each other, so you can reuse them even more.